up? This is Rob Cavestany from Death Angel, and you're watching the Guitar Mania channel.
Hey, I'm Flo. I'm Guitar Tech from Death Angel, and you're watching Guitar Mania.
It's great to have you here in Vienna. The Grim Calls for Blood, released on 11th of October, just hit the Billboard charts at rank 72, and you released the Ultraviolence, which has been out of print for almost 10 years. Things seem to be going pretty well for you guys.
We're keeping very busy these days, yes, thank you.
So in terms, I understand you're playing quite a lot of songs from the new album live. I think 6 they are.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're just very fond of the new songs. We think that they just have the right feel for the live set, and even though it's a lot of songs that's new, we've been on tour for so long now, like 3 years straight, and we've been playing, you know, lots of the same songs over and over on these tours, so we just wanted to really change up the set and mix it up and have a lot of new music in there we haven't been able to play before.
Do you switch the songs also, like from one night to the other, or does it basically stay the same?
In this, sometimes we do, but in this tour we're keeping the core part of the set the same because it's kind of the way the songs, a lot of them are connecting together by intros and different things, and just the flow of the set, we want to get very familiar with it, and if you change it a lot, you can't get the flow happening from transitions of the songs and stuff, so the main body is the same, but then we change up the encore depending on the night and stuff. Right. So it's not exactly the same every night.
Like, do you guys know all the songs by heart, or do you have to brush up like during the sound check if you choose to do
Yeah, if we're going to go outside of the box, we're going to have to brush up and sound check. But we definitely have a few extra tracks rehearsed so that we can flip-flop from one to the other, and you know, we're prepared for those ones.
Yeah. Rob, I see you have got a new guitar here with you.
I do.
What's that? Can you please...
It's really, really brand new, so I'm just really glad to give it a lot of action while I can. So this is like my signature series, Jackson model. They call it Death Angel guitar body style. And this is my 4th one now that's been made since the original prototype, so actually there's 5. But the original one was made in 1989, I think, and that's back when Grover Jackson still owned the company, and I was fortunate to meet him and become friends with him, and he built me the original prototype that I designed it with him. And so, yeah, over the years, I've had a few of them built, different colors, and this is the latest one, the all white with the black pinstripe.
It's a real beauty. The Floyd Rose, is it the floating system?
Floyd Rose floating, original Floyd, and non-recessed. It's definitely an old school way of doing it, where it's just on top of the body. Nowadays, you know, apparently they cut it out and have the bridge down inside the body, so it plays really low. But I'm just not used to that action. You know, back then when we were doing it in the 80s, it was all like this. So it's kind of giving me something to anchor my hand and down. So because I play real heavy on the right hand, and like I press really, really hard to try to play very percussively. So when the bridge is recessed, I just end up mashing my strings down against the pickups, and I just can't deal with it that way. So I like it this way.
Right. You're also an EMG pickups endorser, I understand?
Yeah, EMGs. EMG 81 and EMG HA. It's really cool. This HA I started using instead of the 85. It just has that tubular sound, like, you know, like how Strat the neck pickup sounds like a single coil kind of tone. So works out really cool to have that variety in the tone. It's really nice.
Is it a fast neck, presumably?
It's a very fast neck. I mean, for me it is at least. But I mean, I've played faster necks when because the rosewood fretboard's a little bit soft or something like. But I like it because I like digging into it and feeling the wood grain underneath my fingers when I play. So I just squeeze kind of hard. Yeah, 1 volume, 3 channel, 3 selectors, and thing about one weird thing with these guitars is there's something inserted in here. There's a cylindrical like metal piece that's in here, fondly called the butt plug, and that was Grover Jackson's idea on the original prototype because I want when I first got it I thought maybe it could use a little more body and sustain to it. So he just had that idea and he drilled a hole in there and just inserted that piece and then painted it back over. It just gave it some weight and some body right up under here. And it did give some killer tone and sustain. So all of my guitars like that are built with that little hidden butt plug in there.
I'm looking forward to those comments on YouTube. Flo, it's good to see you here in Vienna.
Hey.
Welcome. I understand you're the guitar tech for Death Angel.
All right,
would you
yeah.
like to run us through the equipment, please?
Yeah. Maybe we start in with Rob first. I hope Ted doesn't hear that. So that is Rob's signature guitar.
Yep.
It's a Jackson called the Dragon. That's the white one. It's a brand new one. It's the first time on tour that time. We have this in different colors and different tunings. We have a blue one.
Yep.
And like it's called Yin and Yang. It's like this black-white thing.
Yep.
Tuning-wise, this D sharp. We have a C sharp drop tuning and a D sharp backup and second guitar.
Okay.
You know.
And is this guitar custom made for
Yeah,
Robs?
only for Robs. Like I think you have EMG pickups inside, like I think 81, like Metallica. You have a special butt plug, we call it, from the back. It's a metal plate because this guitar get really
Yep.
sticking over, and this keeps it a little bit more. Don't press on the shoulder and keep it easier to play. You know, it's like really able. We have a toggle switch with both pickups, like bottom and top one or both. Mostly we have in this position, you know, and just using that for clean sound, and one volume knob, and the ready bar on Floyd Rose. Yeah.
What strings is Rob using?
It's using a custom finish. It's like heavy core strings from Dunlop. It's like 52 to 10, like heavy top slinky bottom ones, you know.
Yep.
It's like good for metal, like when you have different tuning, like powerful on the top and like for the solo shredding.
Okay.
That's what I wanted.
What about Ted's guitars?
Ted using ESP guitars. He also custom built guitars. I think it's the form of the regular Eclipse, but like
that's a beauty.
with one pickup and one volume. Really simple, and you don't need for metal like tons of tones and whatever. Like, you know, that's regular, good guitar, solid, stay in tune. What a tech like, right? You know, what a musician like.
How often do you change the strings?
On the main guitars every day, and depends what the show is like. When you have like sweaty show, then the string gets fucked. But mostly on the main every day, and on the drop tuning every second day.
Okay.
You know? Depends how the strings feel. And essentially, when they're dumb and not crisp, you have to change it. You know.
Do you have to change also the strings occasionally during the gig? Does that happen? No.
We have one broken string on the first show, but knock on wood, still now, nothing goes happen, you know. Well, stay tuned, be fine, dude. Good guitars, also the EMG pickups inside, but you know, it's mostly on metal using EMPs. High output.
I understand this guitar was not used on the new album, was it?
No, not this exact one, because this one just came literally a day before we came on this tour.
Right.
It was ready, and they overnighted to me. I was so happy because it's my favorite one right now. But no, on the last album I used, there's this other one I have is called the Yin Yang Dragon because it's black and white. It's almost reversed color of this one. And then I have a blue one and a red one. I used all those on the last album.
Talking about the recording process for the new album, how long did it take you guys to lay down the guitars?
I did them. It was the actual guitar tracks were probably done in about 7 days, about a week for all the rhythm tracks and all the rhythms and overdubs. But then the solos, that was another story. I was doing those kind of day by day, like one solo per day kind of thing, one song, not one solo, but one song per day. On this album, the new album, there's lots of solos. So like one song might have 3 or 4 solos inside of one song. So a lot more time spent writing and working out my guitar solos on this album. Actually, I think it's probably the most time I spent working on my solos on any of our albums, which I was very happy to have all that time to really work them out, like to where I really liked what I was doing on there.
But you were doing this at home in your home studio, or did you do it in the studio?
The amazing thing that we had set up, which enabled me to do that, was after we had all the rhythms recorded, we had bass, rhythm guitars, bass guitar, and all drums, and then Mark flew to the recording studio. We were recording in Florida, and he showed up. So normally what we would do is work on the vocals, and whatever time is left is solo time. And sometimes, you know, you just don't have as much time. You just got to start soloing, like just letting it go. Even though, you know, some parts you're like, that's cool, you know, but you just got to keep moving on. But in this case, what I did was I had set up a completely separate Pro Tools rig in a different room of the studio. So Mark would be in one room recording vocals, and I could be in the other studio recording my own guitar solos at the same time and just coming back and forth to check what he's doing with vocals and stuff, then go back to guitar world. But we're recording 2 things at the same time, that I was just flying my guitar solos into the mix. So Jason, producer Jason Sukoff, sometimes he's in the room with me recording the guitar tracks, but I got quite familiar with just doing it myself and just because after a while I knew what he was going to do to me. I knew what he was going to tell me, like which parts that he would want me to do better, to work on and do better. I just already knew it from working on the last album. So on this album, you know, Jason's an amazing guitar player, like really ridiculous shredding guitar player. So it pushes my playing because this guy, the producer, is such a great player, and he doesn't hold back telling me that I need to play better on that part, do something, go try harder, like, you know, do something out, like push yourself. So that's what I just did already. I wanted to like impress him every time I would come out of there and play him the solo. I wanted to have the least thing that he would pick on in my solo. So yeah, I was fortunate to spend hours and hours and hours redoing parts and coming up with a different idea for one part and stuff, to where it was really a lot of fun. It was, you know, it was a lot of time spent. My fingers were falling apart.
Rob, I understand you also released in 2007 an acoustic guitar album, and it's and also on Act 3 you played fantastic acoustic guitars and stuff. So I understand you have a love for the acoustic guitar as well.
Absolutely. Acoustic is just because it's, you know, it's the other instrument that I can play. I mean, it's still a guitar, but going from an electric to acoustic, it's somewhat like you're playing a totally different instrument. There's a different approach to it, it has a different tone and stuff. And I love it because you can, it's really, you know, it's closer to playing drums or something, percussion, which I love percussion. I love rhythm and drums. And just with the acoustic, it's just like the attack and the rhythmic playing that you get on there, and like the body of the guitar and stuff, it just has a more, I don't know, it's just got a more much more raw feel. Not just that it has a softer, like prettier sound or something, but to me it just sounds really, really raw, because you can't enhance the fucking how mean you play by turning up your distortion. You need to play it. You need to dig in if you're going to get that tone out of it. So, yeah, I really like it. And, of course, because you can create, you know, just other soundscapes and beautiful, you know, type of sound that you don't get with a rock and roll guitar.
We're here with Rob's rig. Can you just please briefly explain the signal flow?
Yeah, signal flow is really easy. We go from the line 6 more or less to a ESP decimator, like a noise gate, you know. To that we go to the GCX, we do that looper. Means it's like a looping system.
That's a MIDI switching
looping system. We have all the effects that you normally on the board is in the back. Be safe, don't get touched on anybody, you know. and you put like all the buttons like 10 times. Sometimes it's fucked up.
Yeah.
And this shit is completely bypassed when you don't put it in. It means it takes nothing out of the signal flow. From that one, we're going into the angled power. This is the preamp.
Yeah.
It's like the 530. It's like, I think like it's nearly the preamp section from the Angled Savage.
Okay.
Like in 1980 version. But from that one, we go into the Angled Power Amp. It's like 250 watts stereo power amp.
Right.
You're running both sides on 2 cabinets.
Okay. And I see you have a replacement for each one, for the preamp and for the
It's like
power amp.
normal backup on tour, you know.
Okay.
That's,
Which cabinets is he using?
we have Angled 4x12 vintage cabinets.
So
Standard, nothing special on it.
straightforward. In terms of pedals, is Rob using any additional pedals, effects?
Yeah, we have, I think these are all MXR dollar pedals. We have strings and MXR pedals, guitar picks. It's good shit, dude. Good stuff. In my opinion, the best pedals
Right.
you build.
Okay.
MXR, really good stuff. There's no like using any signal flow. It's proper shit, you know.
Yeah.
And Adrian Haley's using this shit too, and everybody, you know, is going into that.
Yeah.
And everything is controlled by that one. It's called ground control. You know, it's a part of the Voodoo Lab switching system, and you can make whatever you want, like setups. We have
Okay.
8 loops, and for preset partners, you can like put it up to bands and switch.
Who is doing the programming? You?
No, most time it's programming before, but when you want something changed, it's really easy. It's interactive. You know, you want to get something in, press that button, edit, save, and it's on the preset. You know, it's easy. You can make any preset on any band.
Okay.
And also we have that port like a bubble. It goes to the rack mount here. It's a crybaby bubble. It's like when you have it on the floor, it's also on a signal pad. This is when you drop it in. Most of the time, I think it's important to keep anything out of the signal flow, but you don't need all the time. You know, like when nothing is on, it's only wireless to the amp and sound.
Flo, we're here with Ted's rig. Can
Yeah.
you just briefly explain the signal flow here?
This is really simple. We have like line 6 wireless, goes into the tuner, and from that we go into a noise gate from MXR into the amp. And in the effect loop, we have this TC Electronic G major. Like, I think most people know it's like a multi-effect for really good stuff. Like when you don't have 1 million pedals in the rack and don't use so many effects. It's like, what do you like? Maybe it's dude, you Rob likes really analog shit, you know, and that's why you have this Voodoo Lab switching system, and you have like only a flanger in the back for 1 or 2 parts of the set. It's really easy, man. It's a classic new one Mark V, really proper amplitude. You can do anything with that, man. You can play blues, metal, and you know, it has this nice function for like the old Mark II or III. Everybody knows from Metallica, you know, but at least, from my opinion, the best amp that Mega Boozy ever built.
In terms, do you have sort of records or a spreadsheet where you have his settings?
I like pictures of the settings, yeah, but mostly it's like so the ground setting is the same on every day, but it depends on the club you play. Sometimes you need more bass or get off, you know. When the sound is too bumpy from the stage, when the stem it's not solid. That's all. Like, but mostly it's the same sound. Yeah.
Does he use all 3 channels?
So on this tour, we're using only the crunch channel and the lead channel.
Okay.
Sometimes when you have a solo, like clean part of it, yeah, using that one, you know. But not on this tour. It's only to mute the amp to get rid of the noise between doing songs.
Okay.
We don't use it on the other tour.
Perfect.
It's mostly, it's 90%. It's the lead channel, like channel 3 on that one. And we switched over the Mark V foot switch. It's like, not much to say, like channels, effects loop, solo, mute. Really simple, keep it easy, you know.
Rob, I would like to go back to something that you said before. You said you've been on tour for almost 3 consecutive years now. I mean, when you started in 1982, I mean, it's 31 years now, and you've been with Death Angel, with a break in the 90s for such a long time. I mean, that's really an achievement in itself, isn't it? I mean, how do you feel
like to
about
think so.
How do you feel about Death Angel? I mean, after 31 years.
Well, I guess we're here to stay. I mean, after that, we're not just it's not just a phase that we're going through. It's obviously, you know, our entire being, our entire lives are based around it, you know, and it always has been since we were kids. And we just have, music's just pretty much been a part of my life since since I was 9 years old or something. So I feel very fortunate for that, being how much I love music and how much our band loves music as people that are into music do.
Is there a recipe for like young bands how to stay together for 3 decades?
I don't know that there's really a secret to it, as much as that there's a combination of, you know, it's a combination of things. You know, in one case, you need some element of luck on your side, you know, that the other people that are with you in this thing are also feeling the same way, because you can't be a team by yourself, right? So you need the other people participating to have the same dedication as well. So that's one thing, but then again, that's not necessarily all luck, because it's somehow to the people that you choose to surround yourself with, and you choose to participate in that with those people. That's also, you know, part of the choice that you make, not choosing to jam with people that's gonna fuck up your band or something. So, you know, you try to make the right decisions about that, and of course you just love it. Like, I mean, there's kind of, when you love music, as you know, we're not the only ones. Other people that are, you know, music, you're a lifer. You're music for life. You can't really escape it, because it's just obsessive for you, and you just live for it in some weird way. It's hard to explain, but other people that know that, they do. And even not musicians, just music fans also live for music. Like going to shows and being a fan is so, if you took that away from their life, it would just leave an empty like existence, you know. So luckily, it's all in one with something that we love, and it's also, you know, our job, which is something you probably would like, you know, to do. But it doesn't come easy. You have to, it's, as Mark said the other day, this is definitely not for the meek, because you might think you want to do that and you might like it, but you know, it's another story going on the road and really living it for years and years and years and years, and going past the point where it's going to break you already. Because if you're not really, you know, very comfortable in certain situations, you might not be able to deal with it. Like, you know, being on the road for a long point of time, anybody that's done that knows it. It's just not all what you see from the stage and you know, the fun parts you see. The other 20 hours around it is not televised. That part, you're just getting through your day, managing whatever you got to do, doing things on the floor of venues, and you know, not getting to,
it's a tough life.
not getting to luxurious comfort for long bits of time. But you love music so much that you do it, because every night when you hit the stage and the music starts playing, the energy with the crowd and everything that's happening, that's what just keeps us coming back for more. I mean, really, there's been points of time where we didn't exist as a band, and those point of times, you know, you try to do something else for a minute. It's like, okay, maybe this is my chance to break away from this cult of music for a minute and just do other things in life. So, which I've been also fortunate to have breaks in time where I was able to do just other things for a while. But the thing is that gives you, that lets you see how life is when you don't have music. And after a while, you realize how badly you miss playing music and being able to play a lot of music, like with your band, like all the time playing and stuff. So I'm so glad we are back together and doing this. And now knowing what it's like to not have that is bad enough to make sure you keep this together, because if it goes away, then you're going to find yourself unable to do all these shows and record albums and write music at a level that we do it, which is just what we live for. I mean, it's just the greatest thing to do.
Awesome, Rob. One last question. Many of our viewers are musicians themselves. Any tips on how they can improve their playing, written playing?
Well, practice a lot, for one thing. That's my main tip of all things, is to, you know, practice. Without putting the hours in, you're not going to get there. You got to put hours and hours in, and just try to have fun while you're doing it. I mean, there's various exercises you can do. they're all out there. You can search, you know, YouTube, Google it, whatever. You'll find every kind of norm. I don't have any special exercises that nobody's ever seen before. You know, I'm just going up the neck.
Something that particularly
warm
worked.
up. What I do is I warm up playing the songs that we're gonna play live. That's what I do. So like what I did is from our last album, for instance, all the solo sections on our album, right? Here's exactly what I did here. Okay, so I went into the raw tracks of our album pulled the solos out, made a little song out of every solo section where I play. So there was ends up to be 30 something, you know, solo sections. Then I put them on this I bring around a little 8-track jam along Boss little device, micro recorder thing that you can record 8 tracks, which I write and record on the road with that thing. And also you can upload MP3s and jam along with MP3s. So I have created an album which is called Dream Call for Blood solo sections, right? And what is just song by song, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going through our whole album, just the solo sections by themselves. So before we go on stage, backstage, that's what I'm doing. I have my headphones on and I start from the first one and I just go through all the solos, playing the solos to the songs we're about to play actual live. So that really warms me up because it's really the thing we're about to play. So by the time I get through that, I'm pretty warmed up. Between that and just doing, you know, just normal up the neck exercises, every string going up, down, up, down, up, down. I'll do it with a metronome, do some scales like that. And just basically open up my right hand, just, you know, just because a lot of our songs has you know, machine gun thrash kind of picking. But we're playing every day. So we sound check with 4 songs. We play, you know, 90 minutes plus almost every single night with no days off. And then
that keeps you pretty much in shape.
It's one of those. It's I can't really say that I have to do all this and that because you're just playing all the time. So that's the best thing is to always be playing. Just have your guitar out so you don't put your guitar away in the case all the time to where you don't see it. Have guitars around so you instinctively pick up your guitar and play a lot. That's, you know, play a lot and put your feeling into it as best as you can, obviously.
Outstanding. Thank you so much. You've been really generous with your time, Rob. All the best for the remainder of your tour. And I understand you will be touring with Children of Bodom in the new year.
We will.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty exciting. We got 2 months in North America with them. That's how we're going to kick off 2014. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more. We just got started with this one, so.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rob.
My pleasure, guys. Thanks for waiting and stuff too for the, you know, photo shoot.
One, two, talk.
Guitar Mania, okay.
No wonder I don't get any sound.